Imagine working for 40 years, saving carefully, doing everything right, and then watching your retirement savings shrink faster than you ever expected. It happens more often than you think. And the scary part? Most retirees don't even realize their mistake until years later, when the damage is already done. If you're retired or getting close to it, I want you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because today we're talking about 7 money mistakes that quietly drain retirement savings, not through bad luck, not through the stock market, but through small, everyday decisions that feel harmless at the time. I've spent years studying how retirees manage their money, and I've noticed the same patterns showing up again and again. The good news is, once you know what to watch for, these mistakes are completely avoidable. So let's walk through them together, one at a time. Let's start with the first one, and it might surprise you. Mistake number 1 is underestimating how long retirement actually lasts. When people retire at 65, many still think in terms of 10 or 15 years. But today, it's common to live 20, even 30 years past retirement. That's not a short chapter. That's practically a second lifetime. Many retirees discover this too late. They plan their spending as if retirement is a short stretch, when really, it's a marathon. This becomes especially important after age 65, when the temptation is to relax and stop thinking about long-term planning altogether. Think of it this way. If you were planning a road trip, you wouldn't just pack enough gas for the first 100 miles and hope for the best. You'd plan for the whole journey. Retirement deserves that same kind of thinking. Have you ever found yourself assuming your money only needs to last a certain number of years? It's a natural assumption, but it's one worth questioning. Let's move to the second mistake, and this one is close to the heart for many families. Mistake number 2 is helping adult children financially without a clear limit. This comes from love. Nobody wants to see their child struggle. But one of the biggest surprises for many retirees is realizing years later that they gave away more than they could afford. Picture a retired couple. Their son needs help with a car repair. Then their daughter needs help with rent. Then a grandchild needs help with school costs. Each request seems small and reasonable on its own, but added together, over years, it can quietly drain a retirement account that was never built to support 2 generations. This isn't about refusing to help family. It's about helping wisely, with boundaries that protect your own future. Because if your savings run out, you may end up needing help from your children instead of the other way around. What has your experience been with this? Many people watching may relate to this more than they expect. Now let's talk about mistake number 3, which is often invisible until it's too late. Mistake number 3 is not accounting for healthcare costs realistically. As we get older, health needs naturally increase. What most people don't realize is just how much these costs can add up over time, especially things not always fully covered by insurance. Many retirees plan their budget around groceries, housing, and hobbies, but leave healthcare as an afterthought. Then a health issue arises, and suddenly there's a gap between what they expected and what they're actually paying. This isn't meant to frighten you. It's meant to encourage you to plan with open eyes. Setting aside a realistic health-related cushion isn't pessimism. It's simply respecting the reality of aging with wisdom, not fear. Let's move to mistake number 4, something that catches even careful savers off guard. Mistake number 4 is withdrawing money too quickly in the early years of retirement. This is sometimes called the retirement risk zone. In the first few years after retiring, big withdrawals combined with market ups and downs can shrink your savings much faster than expected. Imagine finally retiring, feeling free, and deciding to enjoy that first year fully. A dream trip, home renovations, gifts for grandchildren. It feels well earned, and it is. But many retirees discover that spending too much, too soon, puts pressure on the rest of their retirement years. The key isn't to avoid enjoying your money. It's to pace yourself, the way a hiker paces their water on a long trail. A little planning early on protects your freedom later. Now, here's a mistake that's a little less obvious, but incredibly common. Mistake number 5 is keeping too much money sitting in low-interest accounts out of fear. After years of working hard to save, many retirees become very cautious, understandably so. Nobody wants to risk what they've worked so hard for. But here's what many people don't realize. Money sitting completely still can quietly lose value over time, simply because the cost of living tends to rise year after year. This becomes especially important after age 65, when your money needs to support you for potentially decades longer. This doesn't mean taking big risks. It means finding a thoughtful balance, one that protects your money while still allowing it to keep pace with life's rising costs. Think of your savings less like a locked safe and more like a garden that needs some gentle tending to keep growing. Have you noticed this yourself? Maybe in your own accounts? Let's move on to mistake number 6, one that often comes from good intentions but creates confusion later. Mistake number 6 is not keeping financial documents organized or shared with a trusted person. Many retirees manage their finances quietly and independently, which is completely understandable. But one of the biggest surprises for families happens when a spouse passes away or a health issue arises, and no one else knows where the important documents are or how the accounts work. Imagine a spouse suddenly needing to manage bills, insurance, and savings accounts they've never touched before. Without guidance, this becomes overwhelming during an already emotional time. Taking time to organize your financial information and sharing it with someone you trust isn't about giving up control. It's an act of love and thoughtfulness for the people who matter most to you. And now, let's talk about mistake number 7, and this one might be the most emotional of them all. Mistake number 7 is focusing only on money and forgetting about purpose. This might not sound like a financial mistake at first, but many retirees who struggle emotionally in retirement also end up spending impulsively, simply to fill a sense of emptiness or boredom. What most people don't realize is that purpose and finances are deeply connected. When retirees have hobbies, goals, relationships, and a sense of contribution, their spending often feels more intentional and balanced. But without purpose, spending can become a way to fill time rather than to build a meaningful life. This is why retirement isn't just a financial transition, it's an emotional one too. Independence, happiness, and financial security often grow strongest when they're built together, not separately. So let's bring this all together. We talked about underestimating how long retirement can last. We talked about helping family without limits, healthcare costs, spending too quickly early on, keeping money too cautious for too long, keeping documents organized for loved ones, and finally, holding on to purpose alongside financial planning. None of these mistakes make you careless or foolish. They happen to intelligent, hardworking people simply because retirement is a completely new chapter of life, one nobody fully prepares us for in advance. What matters most now is this: you have the wisdom of experience. You have decades of life lessons behind you. And now you have awareness of these 7 mistakes, which puts you in a much stronger position than most. Retirement isn't just about protecting money. It's about protecting your independence, your peace of mind, and your ability to enjoy the years ahead with confidence and dignity. So take a moment today, maybe review one of these areas, talk with a loved one, or simply reflect on where you stand. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more retirement wisdom, healthy aging tips, and practical financial guidance. There's so much more valuable insight ahead, and I'd love for you to be here for it. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.